Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Laverne Boarding Zone Appeals, May the 27th. It's 5:30 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. Order of business is approve the minutes for the April 29th, 2025 meeting. If you had a chance to review those, I'll take a motion or any changes that need to be made.
Make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. New business. Special request for a special exemption to allow a transfer station and future metal recycling property located at 151 Jefferson Pike, tax map 18K, Group B, parcel 25.01, I3 Special Use Zoning District, property owned by Recycling Partners Land Company LLC. Mr. Logan, give me a report, please.
Thank you. So this request is for a special exception to operate a waste transfer station at 151 Jefferson Pike. And if you look at the screen here, so it's the property where I'm pointing, and this is Jefferson Pike that runs east to west, and then this is Murfreesboro Road, and this is Murfreesboro Road and the railroad track. Many of you are familiar with, as you drive Jefferson, go over the viaduct, which goes over the railroad tracks. So we'll zoom in for a closer look. So this is the current orthophotography of the site, and you can see there's a lot of activity ongoing there, lots of cars and vehicles that are stored there on the lot, other materials, and also you'll notice there's a lot of open or surfaces that are not permanent that create a lot of dust and air pollution and whatnot in the area, and also creates a lot of track out problems on Jefferson Pike. So this applicant has shown their intentions to correct that problem, and they will be installing dustless surfaces if they are approved for this special exception. So on the zoning map, again, where I'm pointing, this is the site. It's I3, which is industrial special use. And the way that zoning district works in Laverne, there's no uses permitted outright. Every use must be granted as a special exception first by the Board of Zoning Appeals. So their request is for a waste transfer station and also for future metal recycling, which you may have seen in the packet. This is a photo. This is taken from Jefferson Pike, so Jefferson's in the foreground. You can see the guardrail, and then in the distance, you can see some buildings. There is more or less, it looks like a construction trailer type structure there in the photo, along with other structures. And then this is another photo. Again, you can see the office trailer here to the right, and then other vehicles, including tractor trailers there on the site. And then this is a different view. There is another metal building, which you can see here. It's metal siding, and it's a blue color, bluish gray. So then the applicant has submitted this site plan that shows the improvements that they'll be making to the site. So you can see the, I'm going to zoom in here. First, we can start with the access off at Jefferson. So this is the existing entrance, and then there is also a parking area up here next to Jefferson Pike, and then the existing scale where the vehicles are weighed is currently shown here. And then these are the structures that they'll install. So you can see they call out the tipping floor, the processing area, the loading bay, and then various hydrants. And then they do also show stormwater. They show stormwater inlets, so they will be doing the best they can. This site's very old and currently does not meet any of the city's zoning or stormwater regulations. So you can see with the submittal and the site plan that they are intending to install areas for stormwater detention as well as landscaping to go along with the building and the dustless surfaces. And then they did provide some architectural elevations so you can see they're showing the proposed grade and then the loading bays on the front elevation. We're calling that building C, proposed building C. And then the side elevation here. But it is pretty basic construction, metal siding to go along with their industrial uses. And I believe that completes the report. They do have a turning movement. I won't go over that, but they do have a diagram that shows turning movements for trucks, large trucks on the site. So that completes the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Logan. Is anyone here to represent this evening? If you would step to the podium and raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Greg Gwynn, 91 Polk Avenue, Nashville, Tennessee, 37210. It's our business address for Waste Pro, the company that is proposing this MSW transfer station, and we appreciate you hearing us out tonight. Thank you for your time.
Would you agree with Mr. Logan's report, what he said so far?
Yes, one thing that I didn't see in there that we had talked to the city about was also providing a 1 acre site for recycle drop-off for the city. That was one thing that I didn't see on there, but that is part of our proposal that we had discussed with the mayor.
Any questions, gentlemen?
I have one. Are you removing all the existing building?
Yes. So ultimately, what Waste Pro would like to do in the beginning, we're going to put a transfer station that you have now that's outdoors. We're going to build a building and put it indoors, and then we will conform to all of the guidelines and regulations that the city has. The track out problems go away because we'll hard surface everything, and then the drainage issues will be mitigated because we're going to install a new drainage plan. But yes, a lot of the buildings will be gone, and it's our ultimate goal to have a Waste Pro operating hauling division located on the other 10 acres of the site.
So, Mr. Logan, if you would, on our one, the black box there, what's going to go there? Because in our one, it's just a black box. So what's the plan for that? That's on the west side or northwest side of the new building. So at the very top, Mr. Logan, you move up. There you go. Right in the middle of that screen. What's going on there?
So it's this area.
Yes, sir.
So that is labeled as future metal recycling.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then
Which is allowed, by the way, in the site. I think I covered that, but yeah, it's also allowed in I-3.
So the building to the right of that, which is the existing, I believe, where they do their business, that's going to be pulled down.
Yes.
Okay, good deal.
In the building, the black box, so to speak, that would be an area that we would construct to have any of the metal recycling that we do under roof.
Okay. And so then, would it be fair to say that all your recycling will be done inside, so it will not be outside? Would that be correct?
That's correct.
Okay, good deal. And then the issue that we now have of the water runoff running off onto Jefferson Pike, how's that going to be handled? Because that gets really flooded through that area.
So we have our engineer, if you would like.
Yeah, if you would,
to-
yes,
to
I'd like-
bring, Jason Repture up, to, let you know how he would.
Please, right. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, none but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
I'm Jason Rebster. I'm with Barge Design Solutions, 615 3rd Avenue South, Nashville, Tennessee. That's our business address.
So you prepared this document?
We did, yes.
Okay. So the runoff onto Jefferson Pike, which has been an issue for many, many years. How are we going to sort that out?
Right. So first off, instead of it being all gravel out there, it is going to now be an asphalt surface that helps with with that potential, so we don't get the track out, which was mentioned earlier. But with that, we're able to regrade, and so we're going to end up taking a lot of the water that's on the backside of the site and put that into storm structures and run that over to a pond. So that'll actually be fully diverted through a pipe structure system. The section that goes out straight out onto the street is going to have a couple of curb bumpers for the trucks. They'll be the larger ones that'll divert water at a diagonal. So it'll also get over into the ditch system, so it won't be just draining straight out. So there'll be a new ditch system along the front. We've got landscaping that'll come in there. They'll help attenuate that, and we'll address all of that as it goes through. So it'll be a lot better than what's out there now.
And the buffering, as far as the trees around the whole area to the protection of the homes beside it, how's that going to be worked out?
So we're leaving all the vegetation on the west side of the site, so that existing vegetation will stay. But then we're now adding in as much as we can. Obviously, the site has issues with just pre-constructed areas. So we're going to try to put as much in there. So we're putting in at least a 5-foot buffer strip around the entire front and two sides. On the remaining side to the east that is adjacent to the other junkyard that's there, that will remain pretty much as is. There's a natural bluff in there. There's actually in the back, there's actually a cut grade in the rock that's almost 20 feet tall, and that'll just have to stay as is. But there's not really another site distance, and it's it's a junkyard that we're coming across and looking at. But that front view that everybody sees will maintain the new front. There'll be a new fence. It'll have the fabric in it, and then there'll be landscaping on both sides of that fence that'll buffer that out, look a whole lot better than it is now.
And the doors to the building will not face the road. You'll not be able to see the refuse on the floor. The building is situated to where that it's side. It goes in from the side.
Yeah. So up on the screen, so the kind of the section with that truck when they had the trucks kind of coming up was on the left-hand side of the building. And so, the trucks will come in, drive towards the building that you saw in the photos earlier. You'll drive up, but you'll see the siding of the building. They'll come off to the right of that photo, go around, and then place the waste inside the building. And this other side has that landscape buffer in place already, and then we'll have another one in that section. So you won't be able to see any of the waste activities. It will not be open air like it has been.
So as far as the elevations, any idea what type of materials you're going to be using as far as your building materials? Have you got that far yet?
As far as the construction of the
buildings themselves.
the building itself, the floor, the tipping areas where we park the trailers will be concrete, and then you'll have a metal building that's attached to that. So it'll be concrete and metal building, and up in that particular area, if I'm not mistaken, we're probably gonna have to move some rocks. I think there's a big limestone vein up there that we'll probably have to account for to get the grade right.
We will, yes. In order to get that trough in for the trucks to be able to come in on the backside, they'll be lower. So the transfer trucks, the stuff when it gets loaded into them, they're actually at a lower elevation, and so that way they're hidden. And it also allows them to be able to get over top. And when you look at it, it's going to be about a 2.5-story building from that that side. So when you're looking at the site, it'll be about 2.5 stories.
And we'll be removing all the existing junk that's out there. Will it be basically a clean lot? So
Yes, sir. When we originally came and when we found a piece of property and we talked to our folks at Waste Pro, they were like, oh well, all that's got to go. That's not us. And so if you have a chance to go online and look at any of the Waste Pro facilities in the Southeast, you'll see that they're all nicely manicured, hard surfaced, and very well kept. Waste Pro, by the way, is one of the largest privately held companies in the country, and it's I think we'll do about $1.5 billion this year in gross sales, and we operate in the Southeast. So sharp focus in Nashville, Middle Tennessee, which I've lived in Middle Tennessee my whole life, and been in the garbage business for most of that, and have joined forces with Waste Pro within the last couple of years. Really believe in what they're doing. I have a financial stake in the company, and this will be a nice addition, I think, for your community from a standpoint of it gives you surety with all the chaos that's going on with Middle Point. You'll have a place for your residents, for your businesses, for your industry to have their waste taken if they so choose, and competition has an effect on price of keeping it stable, if not reducing. And so we're excited about locating here and having we've got a division in Nashville now that operates Polk Avenue. It's right in the middle of downtown. We're getting ready to move out to White Creek Pike for one of the locations, and then we're really looking forward to getting over here, and so kind of have an east and a west for Waste Pro. And this community we're really attracted to this community, and we hope to be a good partner for the city and the residents of Laverne.
Knowing the history of the property, has a phase 1 and phase 2 environmental study been done? Or are we?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because one of the things that we cannot do as a company is take on someone else's environmental risk. And so those surveys have been done. Phase 1, phase 2. We've even drilled the site to make sure that there's not any issues with groundwater and things of that nature. And so at this point, the one good thing is that it all came back clean, because if it hadn't, I wouldn't be here.
And then for the business, you explained a little bit about, is most of this going to be Rutherford County or Rutherford County, Davidson County? Explain what this is going to be used for if it gets going.
So essentially, Waste Pro in the beginning will bring half dozen roll-off trucks to that site. We'll hire drivers, we'll hire the staff to operate the building, and we'll go out and we'll get roll-off business. Could be Rutherford County, could be Laverne, could be some of Davidson County, but generally you'll find within a 20, in a 20, 30 mile area is where the bulk of the waste will come. We don't currently have a footprint in Murfreesboro, so this would give us the ability to be there. And there's also a lot of places around, as you may well know, Waste Pro now has a residential contract that was just renewed with the city of Hendersonville, and they'll operate those trucks out of the West Nashville location. And then the company that I owned that Waste Pro acquired and brought me into the fold was a company called Stinky Pinky in Clarksville, Tennessee, portable toilets. So you'll probably start seeing some portable toilet, pink portable toilets around with a skunk on the side of it, and then probably some subscription residential service as well in some of the areas that don't have municipal contracts. So that's how we'll start, and that's what we'll do. And the waste that comes in the beginning will generally be a construction and demolition, a C&D type waste, which is currently going there now. And as we're successful in building routes in this area, we'll bring some of the MSW trash into the transfer station as well.
Gentlemen, any questions?
For me.
Anybody else want to speak this subject, for or against? Please step to the podium.
Thank you.
This is obviously Mayor Cole, just so you know who this is. Go ahead, sir.
How you doing? My name's Jason Cole. My address is 7115 Beard Court. I want to speak out in support of this. The city has had several meetings about this development. We currently have a lawsuit with the current property owners trying to get it in compliance with codes, zoning, and stormwater. So from what we've seen for design, from talking with this team, this will get it in compliance with what they're proposing. My understanding, and gentlemen, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no trash that's going to be sitting out overnight at the site. It's going to be hauled away each day.
Correct.
And so for the properties that are next to this, which, Bo, can you go to the aerial Google Maps?
Oh, you just want the, these photos?
Yeah, the one that's a little bit closer. Yeah, there you go.
I think the other one may be closer. There we go.
Okay. You have residential right next door to a junkyard. That's essentially what this is. One of the first questions that we discussed was cleaning this property up, as well as dealing with the dustless surface. Because this property, if you can't see, is a whole bunch of dirt. That comes out on our roads, it tracks up that area. There's a business park right across the street. So what they're proposing is going to clean that parcel up. And what we want are good business partners that are going to provide quality. That's what we've talked about since I've been here as mayor, and that's what they're proposing. So I would ask you approve it, but ultimately the decision's y'all's. Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, gentlemen, I will take a motion for the subject matter as presented.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Okay, Mr. Coates, can I interject for just a
Of course.
moment? When we make the motion, can you clearly state that it's to grant a special exception to the I-3 zoning for the waste disposal use as proposed? Would that be a fair restatement of your motion?
Yes.
Okay,
We get
for
we get that for
clarity?
the record?
Yes,
Yep,
thank
yep.
you.
I'll try.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second. We're going to roll call vote, if we would.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Gentlemen. Nothing else on the agenda. Of course, meeting adjourned. It's because it gets